Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Ganganapate Namaha Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarva Mangala Mangale Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Om Him Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche Om Trambakam Jame Sugandim Pushtivardanam Urvarukam Yuvabandhanan Mrityormukshayamamritat Om Gunatitoksharam Brahma Bhagavan Purushotamaha Jano Jananidam Satyam Muchate Bhavabandhanat Om Shri Swami Narayana Namaha Om Shri Lakshmi Narayana Namaha Om Shri Narnarayana Namaha Om Shri Radha Krishna Namaha Om Shri Krishna Narayana Namaha Om Shri Shiva Narayana Namaha Om Shri Rama Narayana Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Om Shri Hanumate Namaha Om Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 1st of January 2023. Happy New Year to everybody. We are continuing our exploration of Shri Vivek Chudamani. And along those lines, we are trying to understand the 9 chakras, the 7 chakras, the different forms of Devi in terms of the energies within our body and inside our mind. We have been talking about Vishuddhi Chakra. And before we get to the Agnya Chakra, there's some foundational stuff that I want to go over before we get into the Agnya Chakra. Before we do all of that, also, I want to offer my prostrations, Dandavat Pranam, to all of the great sages in the past, present, and in the future, and to the Supreme Paramatma residing in the heart of all beings, Ishvaraha Sarva Bhutanam, Ruddhe Shrirjuna Tishtati. So with that prarthana, there are some foundational ideas that need to be very, very clear so that the confusion doesn't occur in terms of the terminology. Vivek Chudamani has many different terms, and there are some slides here that I want to show you to make things a little bit very clear and easy to understand. You have heard me talk about this word Anthakarna, right? So Anthakarna means internal instrument. This is our mental mechanism that is going on. Is it part of the brain? Yes. The brain, the entire brain, actually, with all the neuronal connections, synapses, and all, is linked to the Anthakarna. It is immersed inside the Anthakarna. In some sense, as per Vedanta, the Anthakarna is not the brain. But if there's damage to the brain, the Anthakarna cannot be expressed. Anthakarna is subtle. It's a Shukshma Sharir. It is not a physical thing, actually. It is a subtle instrument that has been given by Paramatma. And it is completely linked with the brain. So the brain and the spinal cord are completely linked with this Anthakarna. Because the brain and spinal cord are part of the physical body, really. But they are very much involved in this interaction with Anthakarana. Now, we want to understand just very clearly what is the Atma and the Anthakarana. What is the relationship between the two? So, the Anthakarana is composed of 4 functions. That is Ahamkar, Buddhi, Manas, Chitta. Now, this is a matter of meditative awareness. The approach taken by the rishis, ancient times till today, is an internal exploratory awareness. So when we are trying to ask the question, who am I, as Shankaracharya ji is talking about, he is asking us to get into a state of awareness of the Anthakarana. Awareness is a quality of the Atma. So when we use the word Atma, let me see if I can put this pointer here. This word Atma is the Brahman, is the Satchidananda. It is the consciousness, it is divinity, Divyata. One aspect of that, one power of that Atma, if you want to use that word power, it's really a quality of the Atma that is awareness. So awareness of Buddhi, awareness of Manas, awareness of Chitta, awareness of Ahamkar. This awareness is, this is Buddhi. one can see that this is buddhi. The buddhi is not you. The manas is not you. The chitta is not you. The ahankar is not you. You are the atma. So we say this is my buddhi. All right. The point here simply is that the Anthakarna is filled actually with the light of the Atma. In Vachanamrut, Garada Pratham number 18, Vachanamrut, Bhagwan Swami Narayan, Swami Sajanand Ji Maharaj, he has explained that the Anthakarna is filled with the light, the divine light of the Atma. But it is also holding all of the experiences of the world of Prakriti inside the Chitta. So this is very interesting. When we consider ourselves, who am I? This whole world of Chitta shows up. Chitta meaning the memories right from beginning. And in fact, it has, as per Vedantic teachers, infinite lifetime of memories are in the Chitta. Now, what is in our awareness is in the conscious mind is just this lifetimes of memories and not even all of them. It's just certain main ones that we're aware of. So we want to realize the Atma. But to realize the Atma, all four of these, Ahankar, Buddhi, Manas and Chitta, they need to be very, very stable. They have to be steady. Then they also have to be interlinked without causing energy damage within themselves. That is what this whole connection with the chakras is all about. The chakras are deeper than the Anthakarna. This diagram doesn't show it, but if you were to put actually, you see my red line, this red dot here, the Ahankar and the Atma. You see that line that connects the two? That connection between the Atma and the Anthakarna are the chakras. The nadis and the chakras and all that kundalini and all that thing is the connection between the Atma and the Anthakarna. So to realize the Atma, the Anthakarna needs to function in the maximum healthy way. If there's damage to the Anthakarna or there's all kinds of confusion and energetic problems and mixtures of memories and mixtures of desires and thoughts and other things that are tearing apart the Anthakarna's power, that blocks the Atma, blocks the realization of the Atma. The causal body, the Karana Sharira, is not shown in this diagram, there's some other diagrams, but you can think of it as this border around this word Atma. The Atma is that effulgent Satchidananda, but the border around this word Atma, that is the causal body, Karana Sharira. This is Sukshma Sharira. This Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar, Anthakarana is Sukshma Sharira. And then the physical body is on the outside, is what we see here. So who are we? It is a realization through all of the different sadhanas we have shown, and by Guru Kripa, Ishtadev Upasana, so many things we have already talked about, which we will continue in more detail. But it is the realization that I am this Atma Tattva. And in that realization, what is it? It is truth. It is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Remember, the word Chit and the word Chitta are two different. Chitta is the memories. Infinite lifetimes of memories are stored inside the Anthakarna. Chit means consciousness, the awareness that I am, I am existing. It is self-luminous. In Sanskrit, this is called Swayam Jyoti. It is light that is self-effulgent. It is a light, in fact, but it is not like sunlight or any light in the Brahmand. इसका जो प्रकाश है, It is a Divya Prakash. What is the Atma? It is a divine, pure, beyond pure even. It is divine light actually. It is nirakar, formless. इसका कोई आकार नहीं है. But that light is the light of millions of suns. Atma ka prakash ऐसा है. It cannot be understood just by thinking about it. See, we are not even aware of even 5% of what is this Anthakarna. ये जो अंतःकरण की जो बात है ना, अहंकार, बुद्धि, मन, चित्त, we'll talk about all of them in a little while here. We are aware of it to some extent only, this Anthakarna. And the entire Anthakarna and all of its power is only one ray, one kiran, ek kiran of the Atma. This is described in Vachanamrut Garada Madhya 23. So in Madhya 23, he mane luknu Vachanamrut in Gujarati, Maharaj has explained beautifully there that the man, sometimes the word mana is used for the whole structure of Antakaran. It's just ek Atmani kaik kiran che, as per Shankaracharya ji's teachings also. Which means that the power of the Atma is tremendously beyond the mind. वो आत्मा कौन है? वो हमारा ही स्वरूप है. That's who we are. Now let's go into this a bit steadily and carefully. First of all, Ahankar, Buddhi, Manas, and Chitta are not to be damaged or destroyed. Let's be clear. When we say Aham nikalna chahiye, that has some different meaning. But here with the word Ahankar is used in a functional, instrumental manner to possess, that this belongs to me, that I and the me. For example, if I say that this blue shirt, this is my shirt, the sense of possession that is needed to function in the world of Prakriti. If we don't have that, we will not be able to live in the world of Prakriti. So this word Ahankar is the capacity to possess, that this is mine, ye mera hai. ठीक है? Now this mera, that this is mine, this sense that this is mine, it is the Atma that is identified with the Ahankar, saying, I am the body. Aham shariram. That I am my thoughts. I am my feelings. We function generally like that. Now, that when the Atma is functioning as the I am my thoughts, I am this body, I am this Sachin, I am this part of this family, I am part of this caste, I am part of this religion, I am part of this and that and all of that thing. इसको क्या कहते हैं? इसको जीव कहते हैं. The same Atma Tattva that is identified with Ahankar is called Jeev. And the same Atma Tattva that is de-identified with the Ahankar, other than just a little bit of the functional part, is called Shiv. Jeev and Shiv. What is the difference? This is the basic difference. That the identification of the Ahankar, oh, somebody says one word to me, somebody says, Sachin, you're a fool. And I say, oh my God, you're calling me a fool and this and that. You're calling me, musko murk keh diya. Then I take it, we use this expression, we don't take things too personally. Ye kya hai? What is that expression? That is part of this Ahankar. Ahankar means, Aham means me. I am. You said this to me? That is Ahankar. That is so the energy, Shakti, that is inside the Ahankar is Rudra Shakti, We talked about it before. That is why when the Rudram is chanted, Shri Rudram is spoken, वो भगवान शंकर की एक शक्ति है, वो एक स्वरूप है उनका. Because in the entire sansar, there is a fight between egos. पूर्ण संसार में ये सब अहंकार का संघर्ष चल रहा है. આખા સંસારની અંદર અહંકારનો સંઘર્ષ અને અહંકારનો ઘોટાળો છે બધો. In Gujarati we say. Marathi, I don't remember how to say it in Marathi, but I understand it, but I don't know how to say it exactly. It is a fight of the egos. Everywhere you go, almost everywhere, there's only one place where it is not like that. And that is at the feet of enlightened sages. जो महापुरुष है, महान गुणातीत संत जो है, which we can also reach that. इसमें कोई प्रकार का अहंकार का fight नहीं है. Otherwise, it is everywhere. You can go anywhere in the world, you'll find this fight of the egos. Just observe. And it is going on in some way. Even if people are speaking very nicely towards each other and all that. But at some point, some ahankar is there. We talk about sattvic ahankar. Those things are there also. You know, when people write books and articles and they want to make sure they're published and all that kind of thing. This whole sansar works like that. A to Z. अहंकार का रीच कितना है? सदगुरु गोपालानंद स्वामी जो भगवान स्वामीनारायण के बड़े संत थे और उनको अष्टांग योग सिद्ध था. उन्होंने एक बात लिखी है ऐसी. In Gujarati, he said, અમે જોયું કે કીડી થી લઈને બ્રહ્માજી સુધી અહમ વૃત્તિ છે. Meaning what? From the ant to the Brahmaji. Even Brahmaji. But Brahmaji is Ishwar. He's on the border of he's the Ishvara. So we really cannot say that. But he also goes away after 100 years. But that is a different matter. But the Aham Vritti is there all the way in the Brahmand. किसके पास अहम वृत्ति नहीं है? सबके पास अहम वृत्ति है. And this is the biggest mistake. It's a mistake in terms of realization. It is that aham vritti that is manifested out of the karana sharira, so that by the grace of Paramatma residing in the Atma, we can recognize, we can be aware of the aham vritti and recognize that that is not me. The recognition that the aham vritti is not me, it is there for living in this world in a certain way, yes. But other than that, to get into the battle of the egos with other people, situations, circumstances, all of that is a massive, very, very strong, engulfing bondage. This is Ahamkar. Ahamkar has to be seen. And this is what all of the sadhana is all about. Mantra sadhana, stotras, bhajan kirtan, manan chintan, Bhagwan ki upasana, Guru ki seva, jo bhi kaho. Its entire purpose is for that the individual has awareness that, oh, this is the ego. We can see the ego and not be trapped inside that function of the Anthakarna. In fact, that Ahamkar is actually given over. वो समर्पण होता है. All four of these are given to Paramatma in bhakti, and when they are given over completely to Paramatma, to Bhagwan in bhakti, by Krupa, the Atmagnan ho jata hai. And that is the living enlightenment. But we have to go slow with this. We have to be very careful with this to understand this. The Ahamkar has a place in life. Yes, there is differentiation in life. So even the enlightened sages, they use the ahankar for the benefit of the sansar. They use the ahankar in the right way as it is meant to be used, so we can interact with others. We can interact with others in a way that doesn't create a battle, and also to interact with others where the ahankar, the sense of me, is seen in the light of the Brahman. That aham brahmasmi. Now you will see, let me see if I can find this actually. There are, here's the Mahavakyas. So this is good to remember these. There are 6 of them, but you can, another way to put it is in 4 Mahavakya. You can see the first one, Aham Brahmasmi. So this difference here is that Aham, I am the Brahman. I am not this limited being with my small ego running blindly in this sansar. That is a Mahavakya. Why is it a Mahavakya? It is a Mahavakya because the ahankar, there is realization that there is realization of the limited and binding, super binding feature of ahankar. So when I sit and for dhyan and for meditation and for bhajan and for living my life in general, to function without the bondage of ahankar is to live freely. But its purpose is to possess. Now look at how this possession works. This is my country. This is my language. This is my culture. This is my family. Though somebody else is not my family. These are my children, but somebody else are not my children. This is my body, but somebody else's body is different. These are my clothes, but somebody else's clothes are different. Everywhere. This is my political party, but that somebody else's political party is different. These are my thoughts, but your thoughts are different. This me and mine. Me in the sense that this me with the body and the mind, and somebody else is different. Others are different. The differences are there. But the differences are not a reason to lose the realization of the Atma. Now let's take a look at Vivek Chudamani, verse number 54 again. So just a moment here. Let me just pull that up really quickly. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is the verse number 65, I mean. So what Shankaracharya ji is saying here is that the great sages that are teaching these ideas from the ancient times through these scriptures, etc., they are giving updesh. Updesh is given by the enlightened beings. We talked about it before. Now we do have to do manan. We heard like today about ahankar. Sachin spoke a little bit about it. We hear that is updesh from the Vivek Chudamani. Now what is the next stage? Manana. Reflect. Remember. What does this mean actually? What is the truth of this? If Sachin doesn't do the manana and is just functioning in usual way, that is jiva. That the Atma Tattva is in the jiva mode and just continuing like that. But if the goal is to realize the Atma, then Shankaracharya ji is saying through manan, dhyan, manan, chintan, dhyan, etc., manan, dhyana, dibhihi. Upadesha, manan, dhyana, dibhihi, dhyan, adi. Reflection, chintan, nididhyasan, over and over, really probing genuinely, sitting carefully with these ideas, with oneself, with the scriptures. It's the quality of probing and reflection. It's not the quantity. That quality is an internal activity of the Anthakarna. The Anthakarna in the mind is listening to the scriptures, the ideas, and then holds them and reflects upon them. That reflection internally on the ideas that are heard from the great sages, from the process of digging within, kananam, that's the second word on the top there. That process internally, and once you reflect further, then one begins to reflect to the level of dhyan. Dhyan meaning it really gets so internally solidified within that one then begins to realize. The realization comes, what is Shankaracharya ji saying? Dhyanadibhi labhate. What is it that happens? When we start to reflect in this way, by the grace of God, and do all the upasanas and everything we've talked about so far, this is now at the Vishuddhi Chakra. Once we start doing all of this, the gain in this is Maya Karya Rohitam. This is the result. Maya Karya Rohitam. What is the result? That the illusion of Maya, the karya of Maya, the effect of Maya, the engulfment in Maya, it disappears. This is anubhav. This is not simply just talking, and it's not a question of language. It is a realization. It is an absolute realization that the Maya karya subsides. See, when we are placing a goal that I want to realize the Atma, realize the Brahman, realize higher truth, we have a goal of that kind. Or we want to see God, Bhagwan ko prasanna karna hai, Bhagwan ko dekhna hai, something like that, right? When we have that, these ideas in Vivek Chudamani are absolutely the base. And this is where mumukshutvam is needed. Mumukshutvam, what does it mean? The desire for liberation. But Shankaracharya ji is saying tivra mumukshutvam. Tivra means strong, very strong desire for liberation. And that also comes about by observing clearly the nature of the sansar and the battle that is going on inside the sansar continuously. It is a battle for survival of the fittest. It is one species killing another species to survive. A to Z it is going on like that. Iske saath kya lena dena hai? See the nature. We say nature is beautiful. It's beautiful from a distance. Go deeper into it and you see there is nothing but fear and suffering in nature. Every animal is in fear. Every ant is in fear. Every animal is trying to survive, trying to find a way to survive, and they are eating, trying to find food. And once they find some food, then they find a little bit of rest, and the activity continues again, and they're afraid some other animal is going to kill them. How horrific this is! This is a horror show, actually. There's nothing in this sansar of any value at all. Zero value in this sansar. That is what Shankaracharya ji is saying. Isme se nikalna, that is the biggest, most important duty. Shankaracharya ji says, if you have not realized the Atman or Brahman, one is committing suicide again and again and again and again. Shankaracharya ji is where Sachin is not saying anything. Itna strong language hai isme. And just observe how much pain there is. Isme kis prakar ka sukh hai? So when we observe this, one becomes a mumukshu. So ab nikalna hi hai isme se. Or love everybody, recognize the nature of that volcanic fire that is this sansar. You know, if a volcano is exploding, you can see it from a distance and appreciate it, but don't go too close, you'll get burned by that. This sansar is like this volcanic fire. This entire sansar is like this. A to Z, top to bottom, it is like this. And people are coming, Jivatma is continuously coming in here, coming and going, coming and going. So Brahma Vidya, yeah, Brahma Vidya, and it might sound a little bit harsh, but it's not harsh. इसमें nothing to be afraid of, nothing to leave your home or anything like that. ये एक ज्ञान की शक्ति है जिसको ज्ञानी कहते हैं ना. They recognize what is the sansar, serve the sansar, sarvabhuta hita, serve the sansar, but are always aware not to be tainted by the ego driven activity in the sansar, not to be tainted by that. If we have, for example, milk, और इसमें सर्प की लाड़ पड़ी है, poison, snake poison is two through. You have a fresh glass of milk and somebody puts a drop of potassium cyanide in there. Is it now you can go and drink the milk? Anybody going to drink that milk? इस संसार में ये अहंकार का potassium cyanide है. Everywhere, A to Z. It doesn't matter where you go. And when we see that, we have to have viveka. That's what Shankaracharya is saying. Understand how to interact, how much to interact, how to deal with it, but keep your adhyatmic power intact so that poison doesn't come inside and destroy Gnan and Vairagya. In Vedaras, Sajanand Swami mentioned, Mumukshuni Gnan and Vairagya Rupi Pakho Bali Jai. What a statement that is. Gnan and Vairagya are the wings of a bird. You are the bird, the mumukshu. He can fly. But Gyan or Vairagya, itna alokik baat hai. It is so precious. It is more precious than billions of diamonds. More precious than anything in this material world. This material world is here, one day here and gone the next day. And people are running blindly in this material world after material things. Because they're running blindly. I want to possess more at the cost of damaging the material world, damaging each other, hurting each other. No, bilkul nahi. Once we are awakened from inside, then we hold Brahma Vidya inside. And when you hold Brahma Vidya inside, we can separate the poison from the Amrut. Iska meaning hi hai Paramhansa. The word Paramhansa means one who has seen this truth, not because there's a dislike for anybody. Nahi, aisa kuch nahi hai. It is a pure, clear vision that what is the Atma and what is not the Atma. Paramhansa, the word first of all, the word Hansa. Hansa is a bird. Maybe it is a mythological bird. Maybe there's a bird like that. It's at some point somewhere. We don't know, in some other loka or something. I don't know. But the Hansa Pakshi can separate milk from water. If we have the milk, right? A glass of milk, the Hansa can separate milk from water. That's how it is described in the scriptures. So Paramhansa is able to separate the Atma from that which is not the Atma. ये इनकी स्थिति है. Or this whole Vivek Chudamani, what we are contemplating on in these beautiful verses of Adi Shankaracharya ji, it is the ultimate krupa of the sages. Adi Shankaracharya ji is an incarnation of Bhagwan Shankar. Every word that is written in Vivek Chudamani is Param Kalyankari. It is for liberation. It is to give light to the world. And Shankaracharya ji is asking us to recognize the significance of Manan, Chintan, Dhyan. Ye karna is par. And then what happens when we live in the sansar, this external world is given blessing. Iska uddhar hota hai. Sansar ka uddhar hota hai. I'll give you some examples. Someone who has this Tivra Mumukshitvam, and let's assume for a moment they have gotten out of the vortex of the Anthakarna and Maya and all that. Maya Karya Rohitam, right? So such a person, let's say, goes to a restaurant. Sometimes we have a hard time imagining enlightened people. We think of them sitting in temples and monasteries and churches or whatever, inside some asana and all that. We have these pictures in our mind. But we don't need to be restricted by that. The enlightened being can go anywhere. Let's say, for example, an enlightened being, let's just say Shankaracharya, Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya ji goes to an Indian restaurant. Have you ever heard such an expression? He goes and he says, okay. He sees the menu. Shankaracharya, he's a friend of yours, you know. Maybe took off all the orange clothes and everything. No tilak bilak kuch nahi. He's just coming in an ordinary form, and he's a friend of yours. And I say, okay, chalo, Shankaracharya ji, let's go for an Indian buffet. Me and Shankaracharya ji. Imagine, just do a little experiment. There's a lot of fun you can have with this. This is Vedanta. Real Vedanta is this. So he goes there. When Shankaracharya ji is going with you, you know who he is, but nobody else does. He looks just like any other ordinary person, you know, not with all the tripunda and all that, and you know, in the all that stuff, the vesh and all that. He's just putting on a little shirt and pant, and that's no rosary, but koi chinna nahi hai. He's still the same Shankaracharya ji. He looks like any ordinary person. He goes to the restaurant. You know what happens when he goes there? Everybody is blessed by his presence. All of the food that is there, whether it is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, everything is blessed. Everybody gets moksha because of his presence. He doesn't have to speak. He doesn't have to say, okay, I'm Shankaracharya ji, I'm Adi Jagat Guru. You know, you come to me, touch my feet, I'll give you blessing, or then you will get moksha. No. Everybody gets moksha. Just because uska urdhvikaran hota hai. The vibration, the Brahma Vidya is so powerful that when he goes there, the Maya the influence of the world doesn't touch him. When he goes there, the Atma's power, the Paramatma's power is such that it turns everything into divinity.